ready to make the ring walk for the biggest fight that boxing can.
Keep your hands up, keep it chin tucked. It's the one and only Ghost with the shadow in the front. Hope everyone is having a blessed night out there. We are going to do something new starting tonight. Actually, I am. You're not going to do nothing but sit there and do what you usually do, whether it's listen or come in here and try to start some shit. Let me get myself situated. A couple things I want to talk about. What's going on there, Hawker? Appreciate you for being here, man. Let me fix this real quick. Let me get everything all situated. A couple things I want to talk about today because I'm going to be changing some things up, actually, for the better. I think it's for the better. I'm going to say it's for the better. But before I do that, I'm trying to figure out why I'm going to hold on one second. It's funny you say that, OG. It's funny you say that, bro. I'm about to get into something real quick. So check this out. Let me make sure this is all. My mic is good though, right? You know how I am with the mic. I just want to make sure. The other, I went back and looked at my last live, and man, this is a more expensive mic, and it's still doing the old. I have a my voice is kind of like I'm all up in the mic, but if I back up, it gets real silent. I don't like that. I just want a nice consistency, and I think it's the settings, and a lot of it has to do with StreamYard, which I'm gonna be ghosting after this, bro. I'm done with StreamYard. There's so many other apps out there that are so good for content creators. I don't even know why I'm still on StreamYard. StreamYard knows they're about to be finished, which is why they raised their price to $50 a month. If you are a content creator, you should not be paying $50 a month for anything. Okay? A lot of people go live on their phone. How dare these people? Anyway, what's going on, HOD? So look, check this out real quick. I'm going to be changing a few things starting today. It's nothing major, doesn't even affect you guys. But what I realized is sometimes I go back, I look at things, and I do want to get my channel better than what it is. Whether I do this full time or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that if I do this, I do it correctly, and I talk about boxing because I love boxing. You know what I mean? And I want it to be enjoyable for anybody that watches it. So if I make any change, hopefully it's for the better. What I'm trying to do now from now on is what I'm going to be doing is this. I'm going to be breaking things down into either two types of lives. Everything else will be the same. Obviously, I plan on doing more edited videos, stuff like that. But just so you guys know, the ones that are always here, there's going to be two types of lives that I do from now on. So one will be a regular live where I'll drop the link and everything like that. And then the other lives are going to be episodes, and I'm going to call them episodes, and you'll know because it'll say keep your hands up, keep your chin tucked episode. And those are about a half an hour long, and I won't be dropping the link. I'll talk about what I'm talking about, but that's just, I want to change things up. And not only that, but I have to start. So often I say, hey, I can only go live for this amount of time, and I catch myself going live for 4 hours, bro. And I can't keep doing that, bro. I can't. And I know sometimes I'll drop the link for HLD, and when he's up here, we just talk for hours, and whoever else comes on here. And I have to set, if I say I can only do a short time, I can only do a short time. So the only thing I came up with is to divide the lives up into two separate lives. So I'll do my normal lives where I'm 2 or 3 hours. Y'all want to come on, whatever. But the other ones will be shorter, and they will probably be about a half an hour long. And they will be episodes. And I'll have, of course, a dialogue. Now, I'm going to be trying this. Hopefully, it'll be successful. But I think it's better for the channel, okay? This is my first episode of that because I'm only going to be a half an hour long. But there are some important things. And since it's a test episode, who knows how it goes? You know how I am. I am sporadic. Anything could change here. But I kind of want some sort of controlled environment, which, by the way, the reason why I'm doing this is actually I took an IQ test, and I actually have a high IQ. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're smart, by the way. IQ is like anyway, if you've ever taken an IQ test, you know what I mean. They don't give you any directions. You just look at it. It's like patterns. And then it'll be like graphs, and then you'll just with a question mark, and you put what's in there. They don't explain to you how to do it. The difference between a smart person and a person with a high IQ is smart people. They learn things. You could learn things and become a professional or something like that. A person with a high IQ, they're just good at like I forgot exactly what it was told to me, but anyway, I took a test where no instructions was given to me, and it was weird at first, but then I got the hang of it like that. It was like a lot of patterns and graphs, and I took a similar test like that in the military. The reason why I'm telling you is because for my PTSD, every once in a while, I talk to someone. I'm not ashamed of it. You know what I mean? I'm not ashamed. It is what it is. I talk to somebody because of my PTSD, and the person said something to me. He said, based on, and they do these tests randomly, and he said, that because of how I am with my anxiety and stuff, and my PTSD and my past, that my characteristics go well with something that is like in a controlled environment. So like the military, prison, job corps, anything that's a controlled environment, I thrive in. But I seem to have issues when you leave me alone. And it made so much sense to me because when I know what I'm doing and I know where to be and I have everything planned out, my life is so much easier. And when I don't know what's going on, I start getting nervous and I start getting all these unwanted thoughts. And my life's been like that ever since coming out the military. So when I figured that that is the type of person I am, I figured maybe I can incorporate that into my channel and it'll make things go better. So before I get into what I'm going to talk about today, look, man, I'm not going to stay on this too long, but I try to separate myself from other people. Anyone is welcome here. If you really feel like that I am that I hate people or hate certain fighters, I don't. But I don't necessarily have to explain myself to anybody. Okay? Um and I'm just making that clear because sometimes you guys catch me on an off day. I'm not talking about anybody in the chat. I'm just talking about the people that be messaging me on my videos. Some of them aren't trolling, by the way. I can tell when somebody's trolling, and I can tell when somebody's dead ass serious. Some of the things these guys are saying to me are dead serious. Like they don't understand why I made a video in regards to Devin Haney and everything. And I said, look, man, you don't have to like him. I'm not even saying that I hate him. I'm telling you, you know, Turk is talking about him. There are people that think that he's not talking about him, and he's not necessarily. He isn't just talking about him. By the way, he's talking about more than one. But we're going to be talking about Canelo and Crawford today. But the whole Tom and Jerry thing was brought up in another interview, which I clipped, and I got a couple of clips here, where Turk Al-Sheikh. Well, let's just start off with that. Today, my topic is I truly believe, and I'm going to lay out why I feel this way, is I truly believe that there are things going on in this Crawford and Canelo fight that it's unusual. It's unusual. And I feel like the fight itself, I feel like Canelo has the advantage, okay? He has the advantage. Obviously, there is no rehydration clause. They're fighting at 168. Canelo has always been a more active fighter. I believe Canelo has had a better resume. Now, if we're talking just pure boxing skills, take away the weight classes, take away the divisions, take away everything else. Bud is up there with anybody. I've always given Bud his respect. I'm just telling you the way that I'm looking at this fight. Me personally, I feel like it's a tall order, man. It's a tall order for Bud to do this, and that's one of the things that I want to talk about. Is like I understand that if people think somebody's gonna win, but it's the logic that I'm thinking of. If somebody gives me $20 million and says fight somebody, and I'm like, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, oh wait, are you telling me to fight him? Like, do you want me to win? Do you want me to knock him out? Is that what you're saying, or you just want me to fight him? No, just fight him. Okay. Now, mind you, I don't have the mindset of a fighter, but if you give me $20 million, shit, knock me out. Now, you notice how he's giving the incentive for somebody winning by KO, right? Which I don't think is a bad thing. But it's just weird how a lot of this stuff is popping up around this fight, per se. Also, some of the things that Turk has said and done is, how would I say, like, on the contrary, or doesn't really make any sense on face value. So let me get the thumbnail up real quick. So if what I'm basically going to be talking about, I'm going to show you a couple reasons why I feel the way that I feel. And why isn't my thumbnail up? It should be, bro. Don't do this to me. Here it is. Okay. So the Turkey and Crawford connection. Now, I didn't have time to find. I found everything except for the one interview that I wanted to start off with, which I couldn't find it. If somebody knows where it's at, let me know for future reference. But I was going to start off with the interview that Crawford had did last year. Okay, last year. Crawford did an interview last year, and they were asking him about Turk Al-Sheikh, right? And I've told you this before. Not many people have really talked about this, so at least I haven't seen. When they did the interview with Terrence Bud Crawford and they asked him about Turk Al-Sheikh, right? Crawford had said, as far as you see the Turk now within the past couple of years, he's been in boxing for a minute. He just hasn't been doing what he's been doing as far as throwing events on and stuff like that. Why do I have my Bluetooth on? He hasn't been doing these events that he's been doing. He hasn't been doing it until like within the past couple of years. Crawford said though, and I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but who did the interview with him? It could have been on. No, it can't. It couldn't have been. It doesn't matter who the interview was with. I will find it because I'm not gonna make shit up. In the video, he says that Turk contacted him all the way back when he fought Amir Khan, and I remember when I found that out, and I went back and looked. I'm like, damn, Amir Khan. That was a while back. He was still a Top Rank. This is before he fought Sean Porter, obviously. And he just said that he reached out to him, said he's a boxing fan, and that he was one of his favorite fighters. So he's known for a while. That's one of his, that the Turk likes him, right? And I want you to keep this in mind because when Crawford fought Spence, before he fought Spence, how many you guys remember how many times Canelo, Crawford, and other fighters that were not in Canelo's weight class were being asked, hey, would you fight Canelo? And he was like, no, like Canelo's a big guy. Like I'm at 147. He's at 168, right? And then after he has the win, the way that he did against Errol Spence, which was a dominant win, even though, it was a clear-sided win, clear-sided beatdown. It was after that, and after he starts doing his whole, I guess you want to call it victory lap, where he's going on all the radio stations and the talk shows. And I was actually happy for Bud when this happened. I was like, Bud, I've always felt like Bud is a stand-up dude. I don't know him personally. I'm just telling you, judging by character, seems like a stand-up dude. I like the way he fights, exciting fighter. And I felt happy for him, even though I wanted Earl to win. The point is I felt happy for him, especially with everything that was going on in Top Rank. Man, a lot of these guys were calling him Top Rank Toby and all this other crap. Now all these guys are the same guys that are like choosing him to win, right? And it was around that time when Canelo's name got brought up. Again, now as time went on, he was like, yeah, I'll fight Canelo. And then as we saw, it eased in. But the reason why I brought up the interview with Turk is because keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that he's been talking to Turkey for a while. Crawford had said the other day that at first Turkey was against the whole Canelo fight, which means that after a while he talked him into it. And when you think about how much Turkey has came out and said that he likes Crawford, it makes me feel a certain way in regards to look, if you're a promoter, is that's one thing. That's one thing. If Eddie Hearn is your promoter and he's like, yo, Shadow's gonna win and Shadow's my guy, like that is completely normal to me. Absolutely normal. When you have the guy that's actually paying everybody and throwing the event and I saw what he did with Shiraz and Adamas, right? He was obviously going for Shiraz, and in order for you to go up to the corner and say anything, there's like a list that you have to be on in the corner. And remember the one time that Tank had went up to when Tank was fighting Barrios, and Floyd went up to him and said, "Hey man, you're down on the unofficial scorecards." A lot of people had a problem with that because you're not supposed to be there. Now I'm not sure who I heard this from, but I heard that Floyd's name was on the list, meaning he was allowed to go to that corner. But if your name's not on that list, apparently the whole thing is who's going to say no to Turk Al-Sheikh, right? Now that's just one thing. It didn't really affect the fight. But this man, I looked up his net worth, right? And it's crazy. And the difference between a person that's rich over here in America and a person that's rich in another country is over here, yeah, you can have money or whatever, but we've been showing what in the past couple of years. It don't matter how much money you have, Diddy, Weinstein, all these guys. The government will make an example out of you, right? Now, even though Saudi Arabia is a democracy, apparently, right? These guys are royalty, right? The money is long, bro. We're talking billions, trillions, or whatever, billions, right? Nobody tells this man no. We've seen how we talked about Canelo before Canelo came on board. When they did the whole Madrimov pay-per-view, Canelo and Madrimov and Eminem did the performance there, right? Turk was on camera, had no problem saying, yeah, I tried calling Canelo and he's not answering. I'm talking to his people and if he knows what's best for him, right? Almost like that sounds like a threat to me. If you know what's best, right? Then he said the same thing about Tim Tszyu when he had the issue with Tim Tszyu. Then the whole thing came out with Tim Tszyu where I still don't know what happened, but I do know something happened because then you had Tim Tszyu's team come out and Tim Tszyu there. Now I don't know if he spoke about it even more, but the one that I saw, he was like, "Look, I'm not going to get into what we spoke about, but basically things between me and Turkey went left, and nobody's going to tell me, treat me a certain way or whatever, right?" The man has an unlimited amount of money, regardless whether it's his or not. He has access to it, and I find a hard time believing that if the Turk doesn't want something, or or if he doesn't like something, he's not going to get his way. And you guys remember so we've had in the past 3 days, right? We've had multiple press conferences, multiple interviews, right? You guys saw this, right? You guys saw when he said this. When he said this the first time, 3 days ago, in my mind, I'm like, well, why would you even say that? First off, the hardcores know anyway, but still, I just found it like, why would you say that? But then it made me think. Where is it at? It is right here. My bad. I should have had that. I had everything ready but that one. Hold up. Okay, so it's right there. Right there, 1, 2. And then you have that one, and then go back over here. And is that the first one? I got the second one. Let's make sure I have it correct. Boom. And okay, I got the second one. Right, hold on. Here goes the. Let me pull that up real quick right there. Oh, that's why I didn't do it. No shit. My bad. Let me erase this real quick. That's what I get, bro. No wonder why. Another reason why I don't like Wondershare. I mean, not Wondershare, StreamYard. Okay, so boom, upload that. Got the first one there. Okay, and then this one I'll just show you with the screen. This one I'll just show you with the screen, and then I'll play the other one. Hold on. Hold up. My bad. Let me get this. Hold on. Hold on. I don't know why that shit didn't upload. That shit, my bad on that, bro. All right here. Hold on. What the fuck is going on here? Give me 1 second, y'all. I can't believe this is happening, bro. Is this it? I got it. It's right in front of my face. Okay. So you saw in the first press conference, my bad about that. I was looking for the second one. You saw when he said this, the press conference started, right? I think he was talking about the whole Tom and Jerry thing, right? Then I forgot how it came up, but he came out and said this.
I don't know why they put me here. I want to be in the side of Crawford. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
You remember when he said that? I don't know why they put me here. I want to be on the side of Crawford. Well, I want it wasn't the fact that he said that, bro. When I think about everything and I'm like, wait a second. I'm being dead ass when I say that the people from other countries that are rich like that, like royalty, nobody's going to tell this man no. Nobody's going to tell this man no. And I want you to think about this because Crawford is literally no more than 30 feet away from him. If you don't want to sit next to Crawford, nobody's going to make you do anything. You Turk al Sheikh, bro. So that was weird to me. Not only that, but you're telling me when you got up there and they sat you down, you couldn't have just gotten up and moved your chair? So what was the point of that? There's a whole point of that. It's I want to let everybody know that I want to sit next to Crawford. But then the very next day, or was it 2 days after? I think it was 2 days after. When they had, and I don't know if the second one, if they were even in the same place. I don't know if they were in the same place or not. But then I saw the one where right here. Do I upload that or do I just share it? Okay, I'll just upload it. It's uploading now. And this is why I feel like something weird is going on. And then you take the dinner into account. And then you take into account how long now the whole venue thing, I think the whole venue thing is the man doesn't care whether he makes money off of it or not. I mean, the man's been losing money. And he talked about that in an interview recently too, as far as like how I believe him. The reason why he's bringing up the Tom and Jerry thing, there's other things behind it, but like I said, so the first night he says this, I'm gonna play it back to back. First night he says this.
I don't know why they put me here. I want to be in the side of Crawford. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Then the very next press conference.
Pleasure to introduce the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority and the Saudis Boxing Federation, His Excellency Turki Sheikh. Ladies and gentlemen,
sat right next to Crawford again. I mean, to Canelo again. It's just weird to me because nobody's gonna tell this man no, bro. He's got a lot of there's a whole purpose for everything, right? So I'm thinking about how this fight is and everything in the magnitude of it, right? You see how Canelo's been acting, right? At first, Canelo hardly ever really talks shit, bro. Like, you got to really, one of the things I've always criticized him for, like the whole shit, how he handled like with Jaime Munguia, right? Just real friendly and shit, right? But then again, Canelo's so professional, bro. He don't got to talk shit. I told you the other day that when they showed this clip right here, when they showed the picture of the dinner, there's a video, and I haven't found the full one. I only found the one where, remember, like, you know, when you watch something on social media and you wonder, like, man, what happened a couple minutes before? They always want to film, or you start watching it as the fight is happening, as the argument is happening, and you wonder, like, damn, I wonder what happened 5 minutes ago, right? It's like, I wonder what they were talking about before. But when you look at the atmosphere of what Canelo was saying, it sounds like to me that they're sitting at the table and people were probably talking about how to promote the fight as far as talking shit goes, right? And you see, and this is why a lot of reasons why I personally feel like that whole push was staged, because you see Canelo standing up. He stands up and he's like, look, hey, I don't have to do that. I don't have to talk shit. He don't have to say nothing to me. You know what I'm gonna do. You know what he's gonna do. We don't have to do all that. We're gonna put our show on in the ring. But when I'm looking at how he's saying that, it's almost like people was in the background. They were talking about, well, you know, because now it's gonna be on Netflix, right? I don't know when they announced that. I found out recently it was on Netflix. I don't know why I thought it was not going to be on Netflix, but anyway, the last time shit was on Netflix, it was buffering like hell. But anyway, that's good. If you got a Netflix subscription, you got to worry about it. I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, well, the whole stage shit, him saying, I want to sit next to Crawford. Then the next day he sits next to Crawford again. Then he does the interview where he brings up the Tom and Jerry shit again. But this time he brings it up when he's talking about the bonus, which I think is a good idea, by the way. Which I think is a good idea. Taking that little aspect of the UFC where they give performance bonuses, I think that's a good thing. It because that's why I started off the live saying, look, man, if I say to you, I'm gonna give you $8 million to fight somebody, right? I'm starting to wonder how many of these fighters are like, shit, all I got to do is show up. You would think that they're naturally fighters. So with the 8 million, they're going to go out there and perform their ass off and try to knock the dude out or whatever. But you're starting to see some of these fighters are not doing that. Some of these fighters are okay with just showing up, lacing their gloves on. They don't care. They don't care if it's boring or not. They're getting a fat ass bag. And Turkey is starting to see that, and it's starting to upset him. And he said this in the Ring Magazine interview.
It's a big problem. But this performance of the night bonus, who's going to decide it? You decide?
Yeah.
And what will you be looking for?
Six figure.
Wow.
Yeah. Jabbing. Tactics with the rope. Pressing in some round and some round rest. This is no problem. But if you give me for 12 rounds chasing match, thank
you. Then he said it again earlier today. And this is why, like, no offense, bro, but the people that have been making these, it's a handful of people, bro. It's the same people. I don't know if they're in different accounts, but look, man, if you really think that he's not talking about fighters like Devin Haney, William Skull, you're out of your mind. Okay? Somebody didn't like it the other day because I said that Devin looked terrified. Bro, everybody's been saying he looked terrified. All right? He breaks down what he means by Tom and Jerry. Fighter chasing somebody for 12 rounds and not hardly doing anything. Does that sound like somebody to you? I mean, he doesn't have to say a name because it doesn't just apply to one person. It applies to anybody who does it. I just throw Devin in there because that's the most recent one, and Skull. But that's who he's talking about. So I think the 6 figures for a KO, you got to think about it. How many fighters are still going to try to get the KO with 6 figures? If they can't do it, they can't do it. Or if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. If you're already giving him millions of dollars, right? If it's a fighter that's not used or accustomed to getting a KO, or his style it doesn't permit him to knock somebody out, right? They're already making millions, right? I doubt another 6 figures is going to make them be like, let me risk myself getting caught, right? Which is why I feel like, even though I agree with it, I feel like something needs to be done prior to the fight itself, prior to the fight, during the whole contract phase. Maybe take out, for certain fighters. So even though I do agree with I agree with it, I don't think how much is going to necessarily work. Then that made me think about Terrence Bud Crawford in this fight with Canelo. I know there's going to be some channels out there that are purposely going to say whatever they say. There's people that really think that Canelo is going to get knocked out. And okay, if that's your logic, fine, bro. Anything can happen in boxing. I just doubt it. I doubt it that this man that's been cracked by all these different types of fighters, he's seen all different types of styles. He got hit by Triple G. He just fought Berlanga a couple fights ago, and I can't stand Berlanga, but the man came in 209, 208, something like that. Even took a picture of himself prior to him coming out. Dude was huge, right? Damn near in the heavyweight range almost, right? And he got hit clean a couple times in that fight. Not even buzzed, bro. Canelo's probably got the best chin that I've seen on a fighter in the past 20 years. He's only been visibly hurt one time. And that was like decades ago. Literally almost 20 years ago. Has it been almost 20 years? I think it's been almost 20 years. He's been hurt one time. Canelo Crawford isn't a one-punch knockout artist, bro. He's a dog. He's got power, but a lot of things you should have, a lot of questions should have been answered when you saw that fight at 154. He had a complete knockout streak at 147. Knocked out everybody he faced at 147. Moves up to 154. Fights a guy with 10 fights. He can't knock him out. So now he's gonna bypass 160. It's another 6 pounds, and then add on another 8. So now we're talking 3 weight classes, and there's no rehydration clause. Absolutely none. I don't think Canelo's gonna rehydrate anyway, that much anyway. But I don't see Bud stopping him. But I do feel like with everything that I'm seeing, I'm inclined to believe that if Bud Crawford wins at least 4 or 5 rounds, it's a very good possibility, bro, that they might give the fight to Bud, or they might even call it a draw. This is a lose-lose situation for Canelo. Lose-lose, bro. Absolutely lose-lose. And you could tell some of this shit is starting to get frustrating to Canelo with some of the things, because he's always respected Crawford, never really went at him. Never really disrespected him. Never really talked about anything. Always said the man is a great fighter. And as you must have saw earlier today, this shit had me rolling when he called in front of Bud's face. He called him. He said, "Your uncle, Turk Al-Sheikh. This is gonna be your last payday." And I thought it was hilarious, bro. This shit was hilarious right here.
See him calling me out and won the fight and everything. I see before. I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Who's that guy?
Oh, so he wasn't commercialized. He wasn't a great. Ricky Burns wasn't elite.
What? 40 years old champion in that moment beat Mr. Postal in my gym. I saw that.
So Ricky Burns wasn't elite?
Ricky Burns doesn't elite.
Okay.
He's not elite.
It's cool.
Is there a champion?
I'm going to fight another elite
There is
fighter
a champions, good fighters, but elite fighters is different.
So
Wait.
So I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah. Okay.
Then
We're gonna find out.
Then we're
We're
gonna
gonna find out.
Then we're gonna
And
find
don't
out.
get me wrong, you're a great fighter.
I know I'm great.
You're a great
You ain't
fighter.
gotta
But
tell
are
me
you
I'm
gonna
great.
find out? I hope
But
your
I'm talking
uncle,
about elite.
Turki Alashi pay you enough money because it's gonna be the last. That's
It
for
may
sure.
be. It may be. Maybe.
I hope he pay you enough.
But you know, after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope
Yeah.
your career continue.
If you look at my
afterwards.
career, never same after me. They
But-
never same.
But if you had Canelo's resume,
You know, I never see. I hate doing the whole resume thing because you know they've tried to do the same thing to Canelo, bro. Which is why I find this so funny. I find this so hilarious, bro. If you're a Bud Crawford fan and you've criticized Canelo for fighting at 168, which still doesn't make any sense to me for you to even criticize this man. He beat 3 champions that were in their prime, bro. They were undefeated. So it is what it is. You can say what you want, right? I mean, you can't really say anything about that, but then try to defend Bud's legacy at 140 and 147. I don't even blame him for the shit that he did at 147. He was under contract with Top Rank. This whole other side of the street didn't really start with him. All that started with the way I looked at it, it started with Earl Spence, bro, when they met up in the gym that one time, right? If this was at a weight class that was lower, if I was to take them just both for what they were, take away weight, right? Take away weight. Take away the divisions, right? Just put pure skill in pure skill. That's a good matchup in itself. You add on, the whole Bud switching stance thing. Look, man, I've looked at that a lot too. And you look at Boots who switch stances and Bud switch stances, right? Boots switch stances, but he's actually, I'm not going to say Bud's not good in both stances, but Bud can fight in both stances, but it's not the same as somebody like Boots or something like that. See, Boots literally, to me, when he's in both stances, he's just as dangerous, right? There was a fight I was going to clip and show you, but I couldn't because the last time I showed any type of fight, I was hit with I keep getting hit with these small copyrights. But it was a fight. Now, mind you, it was a long time ago, just like the last time Canelo was buzzed was a long time ago. It was a fight with Bud Crawford when he was fighting at 140. I don't even know if it was Ricky Burns. I don't know if it was Victor Postal. It could have been Gamboa. I don't even remember, but I do remember that they were talking about how he switched stance, right? Orthodox, southpaw, right? And they were breaking down the stats. Mind you, still a long time ago, but it still applied for that time. And they were saying when he's in one, he gets hit almost double. So he can fight in that stance, but his defense is worse. Hella worse. And I think when he fought Errol Spence, he even started out in the stance that he favors. Right? I just think that's important because like Canelo isn't stupid, bro. He's seen every style. If you're going for Bud, that's fine. But the whole knockout thing just really makes no sense. And I think I actually might place a bet on this fight. I hardly ever place any bets. I hardly ever. But if people really think Crawford's gonna knock Canelo out, bro, I might actually place a bet because I know you can make certain bets on not the fight itself. I could tell you right now, bro, I would put a lot of money on it. He ain't knocking Canelo out, bro. He ain't knocking Canelo out. He couldn't even hurt Madrimov. And even though the triangle theory doesn't work, I'm more inclined to think that Canelo's chin is gonna hold up the Bud Crawford's punches, bro. The one thing I will say is this: I'm not gonna sleep on Bud. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. And if anybody could actually move up all these weight classes and beat Canelo, it'll be Bud. But it ain't gonna be no knockout, and it would be on cards. And that's where I feel like there some shenanigans is gonna go on, bro. If Turkey really favor, like Turkey has came out so many times and made it clear to the point where you got Canelo over here like, yeah, your uncle Turk Al-Sheikh and shit. Like he knows, bro. He knows that's his guy. And I just feel like that shit right there I don't know, man. I feel like all Bud got to do is win 4 or 5 rounds, and they fuck around and call it a draw or something like that. It's a lose-lose for Canelo, man. This whole shit is a lose-lose for Canelo. Besides the money, it's a lose-lose. It's a win-win for Bud. No matter what outcome it is, it's a win-win for Bud. No matter what outcome it is, I see it as a lose-lose for Canelo. And that's why he didn't even entertain this fight when it was first brought up. When it was first brought up, he's like, bro, he's like mad. Let's not forget the one time Crawford was like, come on, man. He fights at 168. That'll never happen. And then now it's happening, right? And of course, I think he's earned it, bro. But I just feel like no matter the outcome, it's going to, what if Crawford, look at the outcomes, bro, and tell me what happens to Crawford. Let's say Crawford wins, right? He wins. Oh my goodness, he's the best fighter ever. He better than Floyd. He better than this. He's up. I mean, he's already in the Hall of Fame. But if he beats Canelo, bro, that shit is like hella. Like that shit'll boost him. He'll be forever, eternally known. Like I don't think nobody's ever done that. Be 3-time undisputed, right? But if he loses, they're already saying it now. He dared to be great. Canelo loses, you're going to have people questioning his whole career. They're going to be like, look at that. He played it safe the whole time. And then when he did fight somebody, look what happened. And if he wins, you already know. They're going to say the same thing because when Jermell tried to be great, look what they said. And then Jermell, on top of that, when he got hit, went on his bicycle the whole fight. But I don't think Crawford will do that, but I can tell you right now, man, you could try to simulate all you want. I saw Bomac saying they've been training 15 rounds. It's not the same until you're in the ring, bro. When you're sparring, you're not getting hit with the punches Canelo's gonna hit you with, and vice versa. That's a lot of weight, bro. That's a lot of weight. And there's no restrictions on Canelo coming in as far as rehydration goes. I definitely don't see no knockout happening, bro. That's one thing. I can tell you that right now. Was it Gambo or what? Yeah, well, I mean, hey, they both came at each other, and you saw Bud get uncomfortable, right? He got a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, because to be honest, like you really can't say much, bro. You really can't say much, and this is where I'm kind of glad Canelo said that, because look, man, I'm big on the whole keep the same energy, bro. I'm really like I kind of make that a point, bro. I kind of make it a point. I go out of my way to criticize fighters I like because I don't want nobody thinking I'm a dick rider. I don't want nobody thinking that I'm unfair. Like I said, I told you, I feel everyone's biased, bro. Ain't nobody that's not biased. It's just being fair with your bias, right? I'm glad they brought that up. The same dudes that are saying Crawford will beat Canelo and everything, not all of them, but a lot of them and a lot of the outlets that I see, they've been saying shit like, oh, well, he went up to 168. Look at the fighters he fought at 168. Bro, he beat 3 undefeated champions in their prime. Oh, but Ricky Burns is elite. Oh, but Postal is. You see what I'm saying? It's like, come on, man. You gotta if it's okay for over here, it's okay for over here. If you want to really break it down and you want to talk about opponents and you want to talk about a resume, yeah, the accomplishments is incredible. The accomplishments is incredible. But just like we could do with Floyd, if we really want to nitpick Floyd, we could say, hey, did Floyd fight the best of the best during his time? If you really want to, any hardcore could sit there and go, well, he fought Mosley, not in his prime. He fought Cotto after he was undefeated. Anyone could do that, right? He never fought Paul Williams, right? Anyone could really do that. Which is why I try not to do the whole, but it's true. It's true. How you going to criticize Canelo at 168, but then make it seem like what Crawford did at 140 is like, you could do the same shit, bro. Ricky Burns is an elite, bro. Postal, I kind of agree. I mean, at that time, Postal Postal was a problem, bro. Postal, I think Postal's a great win. Gamboa was even a good win. It was a good win. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like, but I know one thing, at 147, the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. He fought Earl after Earl had accidents. I don't think he would have beat Earl even before those accidents. That's just me. But that don't take away from the fact that he fought Earl after he had 2 accidents. We know he had eye issues. I don't know when the eye shit was bothering him. But then again, Earl never had great defense. So he could have had an eye problem when he before the accident. I don't know. And like I said, I still think he would have beat Earl. But it doesn't take away the fact that he fought Earl after he had them accidents, bro. Right? He fought Kell Brook after Kell Brook done had his face, mad surgeries on his face because Triple G done smashed his face in literally for moving up in weight. He fought Amir Khan after Canelo fought Amir Khan. He fought damn near about to retire Sean Porter. I think Sean Porter did retire, didn't he? I don't think Sean Porter fought after that. Fought David Abanesian, who I never thought was really that good. Kavalauskas, at the time he fought him, I think Kavalauskas was good. He gets credit for all these wins. I'm just trying to. This is why, like, I get confused. I get confused, and I know not a lot of Bud fans do that with Canelo, because I know some certain, like, I've talked to people that are Bud Crawford fans, and they give Canelo. You should. That's all I'm saying. If you're a Bud Crawford fan, you should be the last one criticizing Canelo as far as how many times you fight a year, as far as who was in what division and who you fought and when. You should be the last one to say anything. Really, it really is. It's kind of hilarious. It reminds me of the Tank fans that be like quick to attack Devin's resume and fucking T.O.'s accomplishments and everything. And I'm looking at them like, bro, is you serious right now? Is you serious, my guy? That's the biasness that's not fair. That's the biasness that's not fair. Me, I'm trying to be as fair as I can when I look at this fight. I mean, to me, Canelo has all the advantages. He's been more active. He's fought a lot of styles. He's been fighting at a heavier weight for a long period of time. And like I said, Crawford looked hella human at 154. Hella human. At 147, like, the dude was just knocking people out. You wasn't even really hurting him at 147, bro. I don't even remember Crawford getting hurt that many times on 147. I think Gamboa might have hurt him. I think Kavalauskas might have dropped him and they didn't call it. I don't even think he was hurt, though. The one thing I like about Bud is if he's hurt or he gets dropped or you hit him with a good shot, he's not gonna, at least from what I've seen, like I said, you can only go off the last fight. Like Jermell, how many people thought Jermell was gonna do that? How many people really thought Jermell was gonna go on his back foot? Bro, I swear, if you would have told me ahead of time, if you would have said, Shadow, Jermell's gonna be fighting Canelo, the first thing I would have said is, damn, he's moving up 2 weight classes. Yeah, they're gonna do this whole undisputed versus undisputed thing. If we go back in time, right? And if you would have told me that, I'd been like, all right, yeah. Because I remember you remember similar people were saying the same thing with Jermell. I.e. the boxing voice. All them dudes was on there. Oh, Lions only. Jermell gonna beat Canelo. And then the dude gets hit and he's like, fuck this. I'm not doing this, bro. And that really surprised me with Jermell. That shit really surprised me, bro. I never thought he would do it. Now, I'm giving Bud the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just saying, bro, like, that's a lot of weight. I think the people that think that Bud beats Canelo easily, and I don't blame them in a way, but they're looking at it for just skills and skills. It's almost like they're not even taking none of the other shit into as a factor. Honestly, I think some people just look at Bud, they go, look, he's just as tall as Canelo. Like, that shit fucking matters. Canelo's been a smaller fighter for most of his damn career. Always the smaller man in the ring. I think they look at Bud, they go, oh, he's just as big. He was knocking people out at 147. He could switch stances. All that shit is true. But 147, 154, 160, 168, and there's no rehydration clause. The one thing I will say that he's got going for him, that I think is going for him, and this is the one thing I feel like it only works for Bud Crawford too. Bud Crawford locks in like any other fighter, training camp wise, and he's had a long time. Just have Canelo on his mind. And it's sort of unfair. When I'm gonna say it's kind of unfair in the sense that I feel like Bud should have had another fight when Canelo went in false skull. But no, he played it safe. He went on X and said, no, I'm fighting in September. And he didn't want to mess that bag up. But I feel like if the fight is even close, even remotely, some shenanigans is gonna go on, bro. I really do. Because I don't see no knockout happening. I don't even think I don't see Canelo knocking him out either. Canelo hasn't been really knocking people out lately, but he's got power, bro. Like he dropped who he dropped? He dropped Berlanga, he dropped Ryder, he dropped Munguia. He's been dropping people still. He just hasn't been finishing them. I don't know about the whole carrying Munguia shit. I don't even know how much. I ain't even gonna sit here and think that. I don't think he carried him, bro. Like you got to be dumb to carry a fighter, bro. For real. Like you're risking yourself getting knocked out. So I don't think he carried Munguia. I don't want to co-sign that. Yeah, I found that interesting too. I found that very interesting. I would have thought the first fighter he would have said is Errol Spence. That's crazy, man. Yeah, boxing magic. That's the first thing I thought. Well, he got, because Spence was unified. And Spence got a better resume than Earl at 147. If you think differently, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Who you think got a better resume at 147? Spence or Crawford? Come on, bro. It shouldn't even be like he beat Porter, Garcia. He had the PBC fighters over there too. So I don't look, man. I like Bud. I really do. I'm just not like, I don't know, man. I think a lot of people have this God complex when it comes to fighters that they like or artists that they like or people when they watch sports. It's like this God complex. And I don't look at other human beings like that, bro. I don't do that. Yeah, yo, that was the really you could see he gets visibly uncomfortable. And when he started moving, I attribute that to like, when somebody catches you and you got to think of something quick to say. Really, I'm not gonna lie, like Canelo kind of had him there. Bro, if you say who did you fight that's elite? And you say Ricky Burns. I mean, no offense to Ricky Burns, but I've never heard nobody say Ricky Burns is elite. Never. I've never heard anybody say, damn, yo, you remember that Ricky Burns fight? Never. I've never heard nobody say that in my whole entire life, bro. And I'm not saying that I know everything, but I would have said Earl before Ricky Burns. And you can see he was visibly upset. And this is why I think Canelo kind of feels disrespected. And he should. Turkey's got to be paying him a hell of a lot of money, bro. A hell of a lot of money. because at one point Canelo wasn't even entertaining this fight, bro. You remember when he was on the what's the show? The Sway Universe, right? You remember when this Sway dude said, "Hey, you know the Turk said that he'll pay you to fight." I forgot they brought up Crawford, and Canelo was like, "Oh, he gonna pay?" Meaning, like, bro, like if you want me to fight, because he brought up Jamel, he's like, "Yo, I did it with Jamel, and look what they said." He's not lying. He's not lying. This is a lose-lose for Canelo, bro. Other than the money, it's a lose-lose. No matter the outcome, Crawford is safe. He's safe, bro. You already got people like, oh man, look, Bud daring to be great. Is he really? Is he really daring to be great? Or is he getting the biggest bag of his life for fighting Canelo Alvarez? Or could it be both? Daring to be great? Come on, bro. I'm not saying that he if he doesn't beat Canelo, he's not daring to be. You know what a daring to be great for me would have been as a boxing fan? And I already know what people are gonna say. Yeah, but you don't understand. No. If you want my opinion, daring to be great after that Madrimov win, you would have tried to unify or go undisputed at 154, which is the most dangerous division in boxing right now. That's daring to be great. Not moving up almost 20-something pounds or whatever to fight the face of boxing because it's life-changing, altering money. I think it's the money more than it is the legacy. Because if it was really legacy, why wouldn't you do at 154? Bro, nothing but killers. Murderers Row, 154. My favorite division in boxing, bro. The top 5 in any sanctioning body is dangerous as hell, bro. Just straight dangerous. Yeah, he looked visibly I was laughing when I saw it. And this is why I think Canelo's getting annoyed, bro.
Pleasure to introduce
When he walked in.
See him calling me out and won the fight and everything. I see before. I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
So Postal wasn't elite?
Who?
Victor Postal.
Oh my God, bro. Come on, bro. You gotta find that funny, bro. You gotta find that funny, bro. He said, who? Who? Who the fuck is that? Who's that guy? Yeah, it is. Bro, I don't blame him for that, though. He's earned that. He's earned that. He's earned that. You know what I mean? I don't got no issue with it. I like Bud. I'm just like, I'm trying to get into the head of certain. Look, I like talking to people that have a different point of view. You know, like, because I want to understand. Like this, one of the reasons why I like talking boxing for real, is because I get to talk to people that don't think like me, and I get to understand like, why do you think that way? There's nothing wrong for you thinking that way. You could think whatever you want. I mean, you really got people out there thinking he's gonna knock Canelo out. I don't think so. I don't think so, bro. The triangle theory for me never works. Styles make fights, but I'm gonna give Canelo's chin the benefit of the doubt. All right, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. And I think the divisions means so much, bro. That's a lot of weight, bro. That's a lot of weight, bro. If it was look, if it was 160, if they were fighting at 160, I'd still be like, damn, his last fight was at 154, and this is another 6 pounds, right? Shit. So we're talking. I mean, I don't even count the 154 fight. I don't even count that. That's one fight. That's one fight Bud had. That's one fight he had. Other than that, I still look at him as a welterweight. and you take that one fight, you know, I think Bud won. I think he won. You know, people going around saying they think Madrimov won. I don't think Madrimov won. I think Bud won, but I think it showed a lot. What was the one round where like I think Bud has underrated defense. I really do. You know, people talk about Canelo's defense. I think Bud has underrated defense. And then you got that round where Madrimov was just tagging him and hitting him, and you just saw Bud just like smiling. You know, he was taking the shots and smiling. That don't look like Bud to me. Bud don't just be taking shots, bro. And Bud isn't Floyd Mayweather, too. I don't know why people keep throwing him in this slick category. He's not pure flat-footed, but he ain't. I mean, he's not like Floyd. He's not Sugar Ray. He's not Sweepy. He's not like that. Not Roy Jones. He's a boxer puncher. To me, Terrence Bud Crawford is a boxer. I wouldn't put Terrence Bud Crawford in a slick category. If you told me to put him in a category, he's a boxer puncher that could switch from orthodox to southpaw. That has good heart. I think he's got a good chin. He's got a good jab too. He's got a power jab. But it's like I don't look too much into the switching stances with Bud because he uses it more for like to give a different look than to actually use it. Whereas somebody like Boots will actually go 2 rounds orthodox and then go 3 rounds southpaw and then go around where he's switching orthodox and southpaw in the same round. Bud to me just looks like he uses it to set it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's still an asset, but man, Canelo's seen it all, bro. It's hard to bet against Canelo in this fight for me, man. It's hard. It's hard. And but if anyone could do it is Bud. My whole thing is, bro, I just keep having this feeling like something nefarious is gonna happen as far not the fight itself. Not the fight itself. Like I feel like you would have to pay Canelo stupid money for him to throw a fight. If he loses, I ain't gonna be here like, oh, they threw the fight, they fixed it. And you ain't gonna see that shit from me. May the best man win. I think whatever happens in that ring is gonna happen fair. However, the decision and everything else outside, that's the shit that I feel like, you know what I mean? I don't think the fight is fixed. I think both of them got enough pride that, you know, I mean, I'm speaking off what I see. Money changes everybody, but I mean, it's just a lot of things that are weird to me, like the fact that Turk Al-Sheikh is a damn near billionaire, trillionaire, whatever. And like I said, the dudes from that side of the world, bro, you don't tell them no. There is no, like, you saw him threaten Canelo on a pay-per-view. And so, yeah, if he knows what's best for him, twice he did that, right? And you mean to tell me that when he sat down, like, I wanted to sit here, but so move your chair. You're 30 feet away. Who tells you no? And then you like, y'all didn't find this whole shit weird the first day? Y'all didn't find that weird? This whole shit right here?
I don't know why they put me here. I want to be in the side of Crawford. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
And then the next day.
Pleasure to introduce the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority and the Saudis Boxing Federation, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh. Ladies and gentlemen,
you sit right back next to Canelo. Did you see the end? Oh, you know what? I didn't finish playing this clip right here. Did you guys hear his plan that he plans on doing for I think he says he's gonna start it in a, you'll hear it out of his own mouth right here. towards the end of this right here, he goes into again how he goes into it again, how he's upset that he's paying a lot of money and he feels like certain fighters aren't fighting, right? Mind you, it's a culture thing, it's a culture thing. But then he goes into what he wants to do. What he wants to do as far as like changing the rules. As far as the no running shit goes.
It's a big problem. But this performance of the night, boys, who's going to decide it? You decide?
Yeah.
And what will you be looking for?
Six figure.
Wow.
Yeah. Jabbing. Tactics with the rope. Pressing in some round and some round rest. This is no problem. But if you give me for 12 rounds chasing match, thank you.
If you go back to that interview after that, he says that he wants to do an event in America. So basically, from what I understand, because this English is broken, but basically what he's going to do, he's going to throw an event with altered rules. I don't know how he's going to, he's got a lot of money, bro. But basically he said he's going to throw an event with, here, I'll show it to you what he said. He wants to throw an event, but the event be different rules. Like it's not the traditional rules. Like being too evasive and shit. Here, let me show you. You already know if he does that, certain fighters is already eliminated off rip. Off rip, they ain't gonna be able to fight. I don't think it'll work. I like the idea. Because I feel, and look, man, everybody has their own opinion when it comes to shit, but I really do feel like if you don't understand when another person says that they want to see an exciting fight, I feel like you don't pay no bills, bro. You don't buy no pay-per-views. You must not pay no bills. You must not understand what it is to take time out of your life and pay for something, and then you get a crappy product. But you would be the same person that if you walked into a restaurant and you ordered a burger and the shit was trash, you'd be like, take this back to the waiter. Most of you guys going around saying, oh man, you a hater, this and that. Yeah, you would be the same dude that would be like, yo, take this back. I don't want to eat this. Why? Why don't you want to eat it? That's how the cooks eat it. What are you, a racist? You don't want the cook's food? What are you, a racist? No, you want the burger you paid for, right? You want the one that's advertised, the juicy burger everyone's been talking about, right? You don't want no damn dry ass burger. You got to soak it up with all these condiments and shit, or burnt ass burger with some stale ass bread. You don't want that, do you? So if you don't want to eat that, then why would you get mad at somebody else for not wanting to eat that? The same people that complain are the same ones that probably don't pay no bills, never paid a pay-per-view in their damn life. Probably got their girl paying their fucking cell phone bill. For real. You should know why people don't want to see that, bro. Where's it at right here? Hold on. Let me show you what he says. He wants to throw an event in probably New York City again with altered rules. I'll let you hear it from his mouth. Which I don't even know how this would even, this is where somebody that knows the business would have to, I admit I don't know much about all that. I don't know how you can get away from that. And this is why I feel like the best way to approach this is to do what he's doing. Just give an incentive with the KO, or give an incentive with a bonus night. The person with the best performance gets another bonus. Like, that's good. Even me, as much as I don't want to see certain guys run around the ring, even I feel like it's a little bit unfair to kind of force somebody to do something they don't want to do. I just look at it like this. I think it should be changed off a performance-based sport. If you want my honest opinion, performance based, sort of like a job that what do you call it? Commission. Sort of like commission. If your performance, and now if you get knocked out, that's different. If you get knocked out in the second round, you still get everything that's owed to you, everything like that. Obviously, that wouldn't be part of it. But something like, you know, you acting like you don't want to be in there. Okay, well then you get paid for acting like you don't want to be in there. And then if you want to use the excuse that I see other people using, Shadow, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Shadow, you don't know what you're talking about. That was part of the plan. That was the game plan. Well, then that's even worse. That's even worse in my book. At least if you're scared, you got an excuse. Oh, so you purposely did that. You purposely did that. Man, that's even worse, bro. That's even worse, bro. At least the other way, you got an excuse. I don't know. You didn't feel well. You was scared death for your life. I'd rather take that than for you to tell me, nah, man, I plan to do that shit. You plan to run like you're scared? Yeah, it's part of the game plan. Yeah, act like a bitch. Yep, act like a bitch for 12 rounds. Did it for all. Sounds stupid. Sound fucking stupid, bro. And some of the people that be commenting me this shit, they really, because I could tell a troll from a person that really thinks this way. You'd be surprised, bro, the shit people say to me, bro. Like, some people really think that, you know, like what I'm saying isn't accurate. I know damn well these are the same type of people that would send their food back. Right here. Let me show you. So right here, he says, all right, hold on. Before I get this going, just to make sure, I played this last time and they didn't hit me with nothing. So I guess it worked. I'll do it again.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
All right, here we go.
In some round, that's we think 6 figure.
Wow.
Yeah.
As a
The two best way.
Hold on. My bad. I hit the wrong thing.
he has skill.
Is it? We need.
Yeah.
We lose one belt. We need.
You're gonna decide. You decide.
Yeah.
And what will you be looking for?
6 figure.
Wow.
Yeah.
As a fan and as a person who loves boxing, what's the kind of thing that you're gonna look for to say to yourself?
If he give me everything, I don't care about attacking and get back, jabbing, tactics with the rope, going with the fights with the plan, pressing in some round and some round rest. This is no problem.
For the people that always act like they don't understand what he's talking about, because if I see another person go around say, man, look what he's trying to say. He's trying to come at black fighters and he made it very clear right there, bro. Jabbing, slipping, moving, pressing some rounds, taking a round off, taking a couple rounds off, no problem, he says. You're hearing it from his mouth. No problem.
Fights with the plan. Pressing in some round and some round rest. This is no problem. But if you give me for 12 rounds, chasing match.
So you don't even have to say any names. You don't have to say no names. So for everyone, this is very clear, bro. Whoever's being chased for 12 rounds, taking all 12 rounds off is who he's talking to, bro. So you put the name in there. If you think that's just William Skull, then you're part of the problem.
Thank you. I am thinking, and I will study it legally or something. There is a card I am thinking to do this year with special edition cards here in America with the ring, not real season, with new concepts,
Modified rules.
yeah, something like
Modified rules. So he wants to do something within the Ring magazine here in America with modified rules. And obviously, I believe that if he could get something like that passed, I think it would be great, bro. I think it would be great. And for the people that feel like that's hating or whatever, it benefits you as a fan. It benefits you as a fan because that would decrease the odds of us seeing trash fights, bro. Nobody wants to see a trash fight. Like, nobody gets a pass because you like the fighter. You know what I mean? Like, I've never had a fighter that I liked have a horrible performance and I go, well, since I like the guy, I mean, I'll act like I didn't see what I saw. No, I don't do it. No, hell no. Hell no. And what's sad is we should not be living in a time where we have to even be talking about that, bro. It would be crazy. It would be crazy if the NFL was like, hey man, we're looking to make some incentives for teams that score. Yeah, we're thinking about, teams that score touchdowns. We're thinking about giving them a bonus. They should automatically be doing that. You shouldn't have to give an incentive for them to get a touchdown. That's part of the game. They can't win unless they score. But it is what it is. So I agree with some of those things that he talks about. But like I said, the Crawford Canelo thing, I feel like there's some shenanigans going on, bro, or something will happen. Like I'm just saying, bro. I feel like Bud, if he wins 4 or 5 rounds, they very well could call it a draw, something like that. Look, man, I'm not gonna sit here and make it seem like it's a guarantee it's in the bag. I know some people feel like Crawford won't give Canelo a fight. No, I don't. Nah. I give Crawford way more credit than that, bro. Way more credit than that. And I've already been on record saying numerous times, if anybody can move up that much weight and beat Canelo, it's Terrence Bud Crawford. But do I think so? Do I think he will? No. No. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. And I definitely don't think he's going to knock him out. And I don't think Canelo's going to knock him out either, by the way. I don't think nobody's going to get dropped. I don't think Bud's going to get dropped. I don't think Canelo's going to get dropped. I do think somebody's going to get stunned. I feel like this is what, if my early prediction, and I was talking about this the other day, I got the early part of the fight going Crawford's way. And I know people look at Canelo and they go, he's got the stamina issue, or he's had stamina issues in the past. If anybody I'm going to say that's going to have stamina issues, it's going to be the guy that's adding on all that weight. And then I think so many people are just disregarding the fact that Canelo is an excellent body puncher. Excellent body puncher, bro. I think the end of those, 9, 10, 11, 12, crucial. It's going to be the dictator of the fight for me, because I don't think nobody's getting knocked out, bro. And I get it. And before I end too, I get it. I get why some people think Bud is gonna beat Canelo. I get it. I just think when you sit there and the way some of these guys are talking like it's easy work, that's where I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you believe that. I don't think you believe that. I saw somebody, they were on somebody's channel today, They said, oh, he's gonna make it look easy. Okay. Okay. I've never seen, the only person that kind of made it easy, somewhat easy, was maybe Bivol and Floyd. And like I said, you gotta have that style to do that. You gotta be in and out quickly, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Very good stamina, in and out, in and out. Quick combinations, in and out, move and not get touched. And I'm sorry, Bud don't fight like that. You know Bud don't fight like that. That's one of the things I like about Bud. Bud get it, he get it in the mud. Like he don't. I've never, maybe like I've seen him a couple times. He get, I think I saw him in the Postal fight towards the end of the fight. I think he was, he might have got stunned or something like that. I mean, but that's normal. That comes with the territory, bro. If you get stunned, you gotta recover, bro. You gotta recover. There's a clear difference between getting hurt and recovering, and you get hurt or stunned, and now you feel like you want to just be like this all night. There's a huge difference. You notice how Turki's going out of his way to make sure he keeps bringing that shit up, because he definitely just doesn't want to see anything like that, bro. Yeah, it's stuff. Yeah. The body punches. Yeah, I think the body punches are. You know what I'm waiting for, HOD? I'm waiting for somebody to just be straight up and be like, Turk, because of you keep mentioning Tom and Jerry, can we just get this clear? Like, that performance that Devin Haney had against Jose Ramirez, would that be included in that? And I'd love to hear his answer with that, because it's like, you got to be stupid. No, I'm being serious, bro. I'm being serious. And you know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy though, Eric? Even if he was to come out and say that, some of these people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I did a video. The last video I did was about how Bill Haney went around saying that if people didn't talk about him, they would have nothing to talk about. So in the video, I clearly say, hey, man, I'm a small content creator. I talk about the Haneys a lot. I'm even admitting it, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, I'd be stupid to make it seem like I don't. I've always said the Haneys are content. But to say if they weren't in boxing, we'd have nothing to talk about, as if boxing would stop, is fucking ludicrous, bro. When Canelo leaves, we're still going to talk boxing. Nobody's going to be like, damn, Canelo left, can't talk boxing no more. It doesn't work like that, bro. It doesn't work like that. For any sport, any combat sport, anything, even movies, an actor dies, your favorite actor dies. You're going to stop watching movies now? You going to stop talking about movies? No, just another actor will come along. Like, to sit there and make it seem like you won't talk about it, it's crazy. It's crazy. And people still came up in my comments. It was like, oh yeah, man, your last couple videos was about, hey, motherfucker, I said that. Tell me something I don't know. Like, I told you that. you pointed out what I told you. No, I got a question for you. If I use the Haneys, then you use me. I feel like you use me. I really do. Because it's the same people that's always complaining. But yet, what does that tell you? If the same person is always complaining here, let me repeat that. The same people are always complaining here. That means they're always here. So you're using me. So don't get so mad. Don't get so mad. Don't get so fucking bad, bro. I'm going to do a tutorial, bro. I'm gonna do a tutorial about how to unsubscribe. I mean, to be clear, Hawker, they are content. They give a lot of people content, but let's not act like Bill. Let's not act like that's not one of Bill's. Like that's what Bill wants, though. Like Bill even came out and said that's what he wants, though. Like the first time he came out and mentioned Punch and everybody, right? When he mentioned Punch and Southpaw, this wasn't the first time. It was a couple months back, though. A couple months back, he mentioned Southpaw. Everybody that like uses them for content, right? Which a lot of people do. He says it and then says, "No, I like it. I like it." So if you like it, then why the people that meat ride you got a problem with it? You know what I mean? Like that's what he wants. He likes it. It's the people that meat ride them that don't like it. Shit don't make no sense to me. It don't bother him, shouldn't bother you. Anything I say that bothers you is a real simple fix, bro. It's a real simple fix. That's why I feel like I say they ride the Riri bus, the short bus, bro. It's the short bus. Some of these people, you can't even saying it to them doesn't mean nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. You could show it. You could slow it down. You could break it down in an example and show them. It don't mean nothing. They're gonna. It doesn't compute with them. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. It's hot. Kids grabbing pan. Let's see. I thought I was gonna find it. Damn, it's not there no more. Shit. I can't find it. My bad. I wasted that time. I thought it was there. So before I go, hold on one second. There's one thing I want to see real quick. Boxing this week, right? This week is the Cepeda fight, right? It's the Cepeda and the Berlanga fight, right? The Berlanga and Shiraz. I think that's going to be a good fight, by the way. And I'm interested to see how Shakur fights with Cepeda and this whole thing that Turk's been talking about now. I can tell you right now, I think Shakur is going to do exceptionally well. I think he's going to do exceptionally well. I think he is. me see. Coming up. Oh shit, Deontay Wilder. I keep forgetting Deontay Wilder is fighting in 4 days on Friday on pay-per-view. Be okay, bruh. I apologize. I don't think that's gonna sell, but and then we have Shakur Stevenson and William Cepeda on Saturday with Edgar Berlanga and Shiraz, Puello and Matias, and David Morrell. Bro, this is a good card. This is a good card, man. And that's gonna be on Saturday. That's next month. My bad. That's next month. On the 12th. That's the day before my birthday. So then this week is going to be Deontay Wilder. Mbili is fighting Sulecki. And then Jake Paul is fighting Julio Cesar Chavez. Schofield is fighting Tevin Farmer. That's the fight that I want to see this this weekend. Schofield and Tevin Farmer. I'm so excited for that fight, bro. And nobody canceled, right? Nobody canceled that fight. The Schofield fight. I just want to make sure because that's really the only that's going to be the main reason why is that going to be on Netflix? No, that's on the Zone. That's on the Zone. So you got Zurdo Ramirez, you got Floyd Schofield, you got Tevin Farmer. Yep. And that's why I'm actually getting it. I already got the Zone, but the pay-per-view is extra, right? How much is this pay-per-view? It don't matter. I just usually click on it and they bill me, so. Hey, no, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let him get his money. Didn't Bud fight on BOK Prime? Didn't Bud fight on BOK Prime? He didn't fight on Triller, right? Who did Bud fight Avanesian on? What was the fight where Bud's both his they don't talk about that. When both his gloves exploded, which like the odds of that shit happening is insane. The fact one glove, both gloves. Like that's insane, bro. That's crazy. Nobody even talks about that. I've never seen two gloves do that. Never. Never, bro. It was BOK, right? Yeah. I've never seen two gloves do that in my life. Yeah, like the odds of that, bro, is like, that's damn near lottery, man. For one glove to explode the way that did, and then for the other one to open up like that. You know, you could actually argue, I know some people might not like it, but you can that could actually be a good argument for it being a bad batch of gloves. Because if you expect it to be one, then it would happen to the other one, right? But then some people would say, nah, that just shows you that it was, it was cheating. But I'm just saying, if it's a bad batch of gloves, it would probably happen to both of them, not just one. So, but anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. It's Ghost. Till next time, I'm out.